3 months before the traffic light coalition was blown up, they kept giving us exactly that statement. And now I'm wondering, how much longer will it take with the CDU and the rest of the SPD government?
Communication is to blame. They just don't explain to people properly how great their policies actually are.
By the way, Scholz, Esken, and also Habeck and Baerbock used to say that every day back then that you just have to explain their policies to people better because people would definitely understand it. And then came Christian Lindner's dismissal. I think everything that happened after that is still quite well known to everyone here. By the way, I was at the district party conference over the weekend and I realized that the country's problems are definitely real and that people are talking about them. And people are now also talking about the fact that the CDU and SPD are no longer able to govern this country. And B, that they have completely lost touch with reality here in Germany because they've barricaded themselves in their bunkers. So that they no longer, and I really mean no longer, take part in real life. Because, as we already saw last time, when people entered the free market economy, they simply went to lunch and didn't even listen to a Friedrich Merz anymore.
The CDU will soon be fighting for survival because what do they actually want to present to the voters? Let's say they hold out for another 3 years. What should be on the posters? Dear people, it was a big mess until now, but believe us, everything will get better.
Well, I would just start right away with campaign slogans like, yes, we lied to you from start to finish, it was all the SPD's fault, but if you vote for us now, then we would finally tell you the truth. And from summer on, things will noticeably get better for everyone here in Germany if we just somehow get the absolute majority. While they're still barricading themselves behind their firewall, and the base, it's falling apart. By the way, I was at the district party conference over the weekend, and I'll tell you a bit more about it later. I can't share much, but let me tell you, the atmosphere is so tense you can't even imagine it.
But as soon as the chancellor, like recently at the Hanover Messe, for example, steps out of the chancellery and meets the victims, so to speak, of his policies, things get uncomfortable.
The CDU members don't even dare to go to the campaign booths anymore, or have you seen any outside? Whenever I drive through the streets, I only see campaign stands of just one color. Feel free to write below what color you think the campaign stands I can see out there are. And I really have to say, by now I was at the district party conference and also at the campaign kickoff. And I have to say one thing, no more counter demonstrations. Whether it's because the funds are being cut, was it all just a huge show? Because when I was out and about on Friday and Saturday this weekend, yes, the demonstrations, they were no longer there, neither in front of the district office nor at the campaign kickoff in Lower Saxony. No violent incidents.
Mistakes, miscalculations, we are experiencing them. With Friedrich Merz, the incredible shrinking man. I mean, the man set out to cut the AfD in half.
And today we only ask ourselves one thing. What is he actually achieving? Has he doubled the AfD or halved the CDU? Maybe we should place some bets on what will happen first. Will the CDU be halved first or will the AfD be doubled first? Of course, I'll be back again every day. By now, the AfD, just checked the polling websites, has a 5-point lead in the INSA Sunday poll.
These tasks can be solved even without additional taxes and new debt. However, the priorities of government spending need to be reorganized. You have to say, the man is 100% right.
That was before the election. What about now, after the election? More taxes, more levies coming in, and relief measures were rejected by the Bundesrat. I mean, I still have to say, thank God the 1,000 euro bonus didn't happen. What do you guys think that would have caused? Of course, many people will say, yes, but I would have gotten it. Maybe I would have received 600, maybe 500 euros. But that would have, or it would only have made the country even more divided. Secondly, the relief should come from the government and not from the companies. It can't be that everything is pushed onto the companies. And I already picked up quite a bit about that yesterday at the district party conference and also at the campaign kickoff. That even the entrepreneurs are now really almost at their breaking point. That appointments, for example, can't be kept because people are struggling just to get by, fighting just to keep the company going. One or two people have actually told me this in private, and I really have to ask myself, hey, am I really allowed to say this? And they also told me, sure, you can say all of this. The situation is so tense now that, for example, if I hadn't transferred the money to my employees, I would basically just have to wait for the first messages to come in saying, this company pays, this company pays. And I would have had even more unrest. And at the same time, and that's how many employees think, well, I'll just call in sick and take a few days off in the summer. That's why they really said, thank God the whole thing was rejected, but the government budget keeps climbing higher and higher.
It's also reflected in the opinion polls that nothing is left of what he said back then, where so many people nodded and said, that's why we're voting for the CDU.
So up to now, really only the firewall is left from everything he talked about. The left is over. He said he would fight migration. So the number of crimes is still high and they're increasing instead of decreasing. There are even fewer deportations than under Olaf Scholz. The press, well, they're also starting to clash with this chancellor now, even though it was stated differently in the coalition agreement. Industrialization, digitalization, is there actually anything happening there yet? Oh, right, and we still haven't launched the rocket to the moon either. We don't even know how we're supposed to do that yet. It'll probably end up happening from French soil instead. But well, those are all things where, well, by the way, the state events have been cancelled because of this, because of that, and because it exactly reflects the politics. She simply can't do it. She really needs to resign urgently. Otherwise, soon there will be nothing left to govern here in Germany. And people will start going at each other's throats again. And that without tax-funded propaganda and buses that, well, bring people to their own neighbors. Because that's exactly what's going to happen here in Germany if we don't finally get relief, if crime doesn't go down, and what's even more important, if people don't regain trust in politics. We will lower taxes. But now you definitely have to pay more money so that someday we can lower taxes. You get what I mean.